another episode of the Pony 411 podcast. It is January 5th, 2014, so our first podcast of the new year. Woohoo!
Yay!
I am Nemesis, and joining me once again is Alca7raz.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about, the first of the new year, first new episode of the year, which is Rarity Takes Manehatten. But first, of course, we got some quick hits, because, just because the new year changes doesn't mean that the news stops.
Oh, no, that would be a weird thing.
So, to start us off, the Bronies documentary is now on Netflix.
Yay.
We've talked about the documentary before. You can go back to...
I was actually a backer on the documentary.
Yeah. But some of us talked about it before, but on the podcast. But if you want to check it out yourself, here's your chance. If you didn't want to pay for it or whatever, have to find it on TV.
Yep.
Well, you kind of have to pay for Netflix. But yeah, a lot of people have Netflix.
It has actually shown up on TV a couple times.
Yeah.
I got an airing on
Logo
a while back.
I remember that. But yeah, if you've been just didn't want to pay for it, or if you felt bad about other means, here's your chance. Anyway, the Weird Al episode finally has a name. It's called Pinky Pride, and it will be aired on February 1st. And so it's not coming as late as I thought it was going to be, but still, so basically a week later than we initially thought.
Yeah.
The 2014 Bronies Herd Census has launched, so if you want to contribute to a statistical analysis of the fandom, this is your chance. The survey will run through the end of January, so if you want to do it, this is the month to do it. So.
Yep, I'm going to get on that.
From what I read, it'll take about 20 minutes or so, and it's available in multiple languages, so check it out. Do you like Two Best Friends Play? Good, because Two Snacks has released the Two Best Sisters Play Pokemon Snap, the pony parody of the popular YouTube series. Go watch it. I'm serious. Go watch it. And then if you aren't watching Two Best Friends Play, go watch them. They're funny.
I need to start watching them.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Not really pony related, but still worth mentioning. Main 6 has posted some news about what they've been up to lately and plans for the future, including crowdfunding. On top of that, they've also released the first official art from their game. Check it out if you're still interested, and you probably should be.
Yes, in case for some listeners who might not know the name, this is the group that was running the Fighting is Magic game that got C&D'd a while back.
January,
that Lauren Faust herself is actually helping with the designs for the new characters since they can't use ponies anymore. So yes, definitely something to keep an eye on, even if it might not be directly ponies.
Especially if it's moddable. I'm really hoping they leave it moddable.
Yes.
A new convention has been announced called MLP MSP. It will take place in Bloomington, Minnesota on June 6th through 8th, and I believe Bloomington is a suburb or something of Minneapolis. They've already announced their first guests, including Michelle Krieber and her family with Black Griffin and Mike the Microphone and more.
Yeah.
So go check out their new page. They'll keep you, if you're in the area, you want to check it out. I mean, I still personally believe there's too many conventions, but hey.
We'll see.
Everfree Northwest has announced the winners of their art contest, which we talked about. I believe we briefly mentioned it a while back, but go check out the winning entries. It could have been before we started, but I remember kind of mentioning something about that. But yeah, the art contest, basically artists get their profiles in the little con booklet, and they get prizes and whatnot.
Yeah, and they're always really good art.
Surprising absolutely no one, My Little Pony won the Best Kids Animated Series on TV.com poll. Considering the fact it got 13 million votes, one wonders how many scripts and bots were employed.
And this isn't the first time
let's be honest.
Rigged polls.
Yeah, the poll got rigged. There's no way around it. It got rigged, and it got rigged hard.
Yeah.
Much as I wish otherwise, but then again, competing against stuff like Gravity Falls, which honestly, to me, gives a run of the... Definitely is a really great show, too.
I need to watch that, too.
Yes, you do. If you've been wondering when Twilight will do princess-type stuff in the show, Megan McCarthy has said on Twitter she will do so later this season. So if that's one of those things you've been kind of wondering about, there's your answer. And finally, a picture has popped up on Derpy of an in-store display of the Rainbow Power line. It features brand new artwork for Twilight, Dash, and Rarity because they cut off Pinky and Applejack, and presumably Fluttershy's there too, but can't see them at all.
Yeah, the picture doesn't have it in there.
Yeah, even if it doesn't appear in the show, the toy line is obviously going to get a major marketing push from Hasbro if they're going that far.
Yeah, and they used all new vectors for the image.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call those vectors. I would call them straight up new artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually new artwork, and it actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, they didn't just recolor their previous vectors.
Yeah, it's obvious, too, because, like, Dash's hair is, like...
Super Saiyan.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. And Rarity's hair is also kind of very different, too.
So they've resold a lot of them for that.
If this is what's going to happen in the show at the end of the season, that's what it's going to look like, I'm not sure if I'm as against it as I was before.
Yeah, still a lot in the air, but
Yeah.
it could definitely be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. And this actually might come true based on what we've seen in the most recent episode.
Yeah, so we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that, like, starting now. Because Rarity Takes Manehatten. It just premiered a Rarity Focus episode. First one we've had since season 2, by the way.
Yes, it's been over 2 years, I think.
So you can obviously figure out from the title, it takes place in Manhattan.
No.
And so, yeah, Rarity goes into basically a fashion contest thing.
Yeah, she was invited to a fashion contest thing in Manhattan. Her and a whole bunch of others featuring their new lines.
Yeah. Basically, a prize to get noticed by the
Yeah.
big wigs in the fashion industry. So, of course, she's talking about generosity, and there's a song, and she's hanging out with friends. She winds up being almost late, shows up just in time, gets kind of scolded for that. And then, and she developed a brand new fabric for her line, all this stuff. And then if someone else shows up who, hey, guess what was from Ponyville? And they're talking, kind of catching up. And then she asked if she can borrow some fabric. And Rarity, being generous, she's like, sure. And then what happens is that other pony, Suri, decides
Suri
decides to, just outright steal it for everything. She said, I'm just doing it touch-ups and trim and stuff. And instead, she just uses it for most of it. Not she makes her assistant do it.
Yes.
Coco. She makes her assistant Coco do most of the sewing. And then, she's just outright steals it because she went first. It looks like Rarity would have to steal it. So Rarity decides to...
Well, Rarity freaks out.
Yeah, Rarity freaks out and decides to... She goes back to the hotel room and sees her friends, and her friends decide to say they're prepared for her, and then Rarity gets an idea to do a whole new line, but she kind of goes and turns her hotel room to a sweatshop for her friends and kind of forces them to work hard on this stuff and make them miss all the stuff they want to do in Manhattan. And she impresses, but then she realizes she drove her friends away and she feels horrible about it and tries to go find them. Turns out, there her friends are. The friends hadn't left, they just overslept.
Yeah,
they missed the fashion show.
Yeah, they missed the fashion show because they overslept because Rarity worked them too hard.
Yes.
And Rarity freaked out and thought they had left her because she worked them too hard, and they couldn't find them, and ended up finding them. They hadn't left, and said their sorries.
Suri then lies and tries to tell Rarity that that she basically had no.
Yeah, Suri lied to Rarity, said she lost.
Yeah, she lost in
the contest, but it turns out that she didn't lose, that Suri told her that so that she wouldn't claim her prize, so that Suri would win due to her forfeiting.
Yes, that was the plan, and it failed because her assistant decided that no, Suri's a jerk, I don't want to work for her anymore, and quits and gives Rarity her trophy along with a gift. And we go back to and Rarity gets her a job, the assistant, new job, and Rarity goes back to Ponyville, and the gift turns out to be this rainbow-colored thread that shines a particular way.
Yes, a very particular way.
Another ending like that. Yeah.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, so I guess once again,
me.
What did you think?
I thought it was okay. Since I'm not a fan of Rarity, my expectations going into it were a bit lower than some of the other ones. So I wasn't disappointed. But it was better than I was expecting for a Rarity episode, but it was I'll say it was okay. The song was okay, though there was kind of two songs. It was a song like a reprise later on after she realizes that she was being a jerk, among other things. It was okay. It wasn't super noteworthy to me, but that's about what I can say about the episode. It was okay. Everything flowed pretty well. It was somewhat predictable, but yeah.
All right. I kind of like Rarity. I mean, she's not my favorite, but she's definitely not low on my list either. She kind of swings up and down on my dislike, because sometimes sometimes her personality kind of rubs me the wrong way, but other times I think she's hilarious. And I think this particular episode, she's mostly hilarious. For the song, the first version, it was okay, I guess. I wasn't particularly in love with it or anything. I mean, it worked for the most part, but I liked the reprise a lot better. I really liked that part a lot, and I wish it was a little bit longer.
I did think it flowed a bit better than the first one.
Yeah, so just a lot of the faces and stuff in particular, just Rarity's just freak out was hilarious. The faces she made, the weird noises that Tabitha St. Germain made for the part is just really good. And for a while they kind of freaked us out, or not freaked people out, but I guess freaked probably some watchers out, and made it seem like Rarity might be leaving the show for a bit, and then turns out, nope.
Yeah, in the end of the episode, Rarity mentions that in order, because earlier when Rarity made them all work for her, they made her miss a musical that they were all planning on going to that was really, really hard to get into.
Mm-hmm.
But Rarity forced them to work, and they ended up missing that. So Rarity, in order to make up for that, got them a private viewing. But in order to do that, she gave her her new line of clothing to or something with the costume designer.
She said
she offered to make all the costumes for the costume designer for the next play. But that means she'd have to stay in Manhattan to do it. But then Suri comes along and gives her prize and all that sort of stuff. And Suri's assistant, not Suri.
Yeah.
Since Coco Pommel. But since she quit, in order to do that, Rarity was able to give Coco the job of making the dresses or costumes or whatnot instead. Rarity was able to return home.
Yep. That's that. So they kind of tease this, oh crap, Rarity's leaving, and nope, not happening actually.
Nope,
so
not happening. Got your hopes up for nothing.
But I would have found it interesting they actually did have Rarity gone for a little bit, because they already, even before it was given to Coco's, implied that it would only be temporary. But it'd be a long time, but it'd still only be temporary.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be like, oh, she's gone, put her on a bus, she's gone, replace her. But a lot of the faces, and one thing I definitely need to mention is right before the first song.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
It was hilarious, because
it was absolutely hilarious.
Rainbow's talking about how she usually doesn't like musicals, and she says it's like no pony does it. Nobody just is talking and just launches into song or something like that, and then Rarity just launches into song immediately right after that, much to Applejack's and Rainbow Dash's surprise.
Pony's randomly breaking out into song? No pony does that.
And boom.
Boom, Rarity does. Right there. And the faces they gave was great. But yeah.
There's a lot of faces. And of course, a lot of people are going to notice Spike kind of gets treated like, well, Spike.
Yeah, it kind of gets shafted.
Yeah, like always. And people really hate that. I think it's funny.
It is. They play it out so he gets shafted, but it's noticed. He notices it, and they kind of
I mean, even in the beginning when, like, Rarity is talking to Spike and thanking him for doing all this stuff, and Twilight's just glaring at the back of her head, like it looks like almost like she's trying to light it on fire with her vision.
Yeah. And then there's the bird episode. That was
the
great.
bird thing. What happened was, Rarity buys Spike a hot dog, although it's a carrot.
It's a carrot, not a hot dog.
It's basically a hot dog, but with Karen said. So she buys it for him as a thanks, and he goes to eat it. Bird steals it. Later on, he kind of shows up again with it, so you wonder, did he get it back, or did he get a different one?
Yeah.
I just would find it funny if there was like some epic battle to get it back from that stupid bird.
I would love to see that. Someone make a comic of that, please.
Comic, fanfic, something, please.
Yes.
I need it. Be funny. Yeah, so, of course, Spike is usually kind of happy to do it because it's for Rarity.
Yeah, I think it's starting to wear down on him.
Yeah.
He's starting to get a little annoyed.
They're going to slowly move that out, like kind of slowly phase out the crush on Rarity thing. Because they haven't even noticed, they've barely even touched it like for a long time. It's like barely come up at all in the last season and a half or so.
Well, I want to say the last one was Dragon. No, it was one with his.
It's a long time ago they even really touched it. I think they.
Crap. The Timberwolf. They touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, they touched on it a little bit, but it was barely.
Yeah.
Just barely.
It's the last time I remember it being touched on.
I think. Whatever. But if you really haven't, it's almost like some people are wondering if they're ever going to do it again. It's like they're never ever going to be serious about it. I think that's become obvious by now, because by making it serious, they kind of brought themselves into a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, there's some implications that they'd have to worry about that, and yeah.
So, but it wouldn't surprise me if they decided to slowly phase it out, like to the point where like Spike just, it's like Twilight's like, Spike, you ain't even talking about Rarity. It's like, I not.
Yeah, I could see it.
They could, yeah. I mean, some people of course would be upset, but people are always going to be upset.
Doesn't matter what you do, someone's going to be upset.
There's that one noise that Rarity made. It's like, It's just the face there.
Or right before they get on the train in the beginning, when they're talking about the tickets.
Yep.
You couldn't. I could. I did. That little bit that she did, that was kind of interesting.
Oh, I guess we could kind of touch on that briefly. The stupid fedora thing that's going around.
Yeah, I guess we can touch on that.
I mean, okay, let's be honest. So before the episode aired, they showed a screen cap and it showed a pony with a fedora and a grumpy cat, and of course, being people, decided to jump to the wrong conclusion about it. And then when the episode aired, it turned out to be nothing. But of course, people are still trying to make it a big thing, and I wish we didn't have to do this at all, but we kind of have to.
Yes.
So here's the thing. The show, it was very much obviously styled. The Manehatten was very much styled after like 30s, 40s New York.
Actually, I think it was like 50s.
50s maybe.
Either way, same
anyway,
idea.
30s, 40s is around the same time. 30s, 40s, maybe early 50s. But yeah, at the time, it was popular men's fashion to wear fedoras. This is a thing you cannot argue about. This is very popular.
And if you look during the rest of the episode, there wasn't just one pony wearing a fedora. There was
multiple. It popped
That's
up.
just
A fedora
the
popped
style
up.
of the
That
day.
was the style. They were going for 30s, that like 30s, 40s, 50s style. And it worked. I mean, they even got a Mad Men reference in there, which is supposed to take place in that time period.
Yeah. You don't talk fedoras.
Yeah, so there's fedoras, but of course this one with a grumpy cat cutie mark, of course people just jumped on it and assumed, oh, it's a brony, herp, derp, derp.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just they put that in because they thought it was funny. And remember, when they were making this episode, I think Grumpy Cat was still relatively new.
Yeah, because remember, there's a long time span between when they make these and even when they storyboard these and when we actually see them.
And that's one of those jokes. It's not for us. It's not for the kids. It's for them. They put it in because they thought it was funny.
Yes.
It's just a coincidence. Basically, he happened to also be wearing a fedora.
Yes.
It was not supposed to be commentary of the fan base. It was not supposed to be making fun of the fan base. Yes. It just was a random coincidence just because he's just grumpy.
Yes, that's it. No
more,
more,
I can see
no
people
less.
going as far as outright lying about the scene to make it seem more pathetic or something.
Yeah. People searching for drama where there is none just to make themselves feel better, I think.
And it's really annoying, and I'm upset that actually happened, that it got to this point. I just wish it would go away, but of course now we're talking about it, but we kind of have to because otherwise people are like, why aren't you even mentioning this?
Yes.
So, yeah, it happened. It wasn't really it was a non-issue also because he was there for like 15 seconds at most.
One small scene. That's it.
It was just
never mentioned again.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have a speaking role.
Not
Not
speaking
even
role.
something that we should have to mention.
Yeah, it's just a thing that happened. It was just a little tiny joke that they thought was funny.
Yeah, that's it.
Nothing
to freak out about.
So, calm down, everyone, please.
Anyway, moving on.
And, speaking of in background ponies and stuff, I guess I briefly saw Fancy Pants on the boat. He was there. I saw a pony that looked almost like Charlie, but not really though. Like I said though, Mad Men ponies are there, very obvious. You can see them if you didn't already see it from the article that came out before the episode aired. Some people think they saw Derpy towards the beginning on the boat scene, but some people argue it's not Derpy just because he's wearing clothes. We don't really know.
It's a really blurry
It's
shot.
really small and blurry, so it's really difficult. So it might actually be Derpy. It might not, because it's definitely gray and blonde.
Yeah.
Or at least grayish and blonde. So it's at least the color scheme's close enough that you could argue it is Derpy. But anyway, so if you really want to see Derpy more often, there she is. Hope maybe someone will have to contact someone and say, is that supposed to be her? The fabric was kind of cool just because they added that shimmer effect.
That was kind of cool. They didn't really. That's about all I can say about it. It was a neat kind of a fabric.
Yeah, it was neat. Rarity kind of turning hotel stuff into clothing though.
That was interesting. Yes.
Now people can make easy cosplays.
Yes.
And then lose a deposit on the hotel rooms at the cons.
Yes.
I wouldn't do it if I were you.
I would not do that.
Don't trash the hotel room.
Yeah. And keys for belts and.
Yeah. Where would you get all those keys anyway? Especially now, you can't really get keys anymore.
No, it's all badges.
Yeah, it's all just cards.
All
digital.
Yep.
So.
But this is 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Style,
that's
keys.
The
big
style
keys.
they're going for. It was 1% of people have noticed is they were looking for a taxi at one point, and there was a line for it, and the thing was like, why isn't Twilight using her status as a princess to get it? It's like, well, it's also the one thing is like the other ponies don't seem to notice she's a princess, but it's like Twilight. That's one thing. Twilight is not the type of pony who would use her status like that. Yeah. She would not. She'd only use it if it was absolutely like needed. Like
I think a lot of time, and personally, I think this is a good thing. She forgets about it.
Yeah, she didn't even realize. Like,
she doesn't even think about being a princess. Because that would be a change in her character.
Too much of a change. Yeah, so we are going to see her do princessy things later, so
Yes.
I don't know what they are.
Apparently there is, but we'll see how they play that out one. Because I remember that was always a big stink, is she became a princess, is she's still going to be the same Twilight.
Well,
So having her completely
yes.
forget that she is, says she is still the same one.
She's still Twilight.
But then if we see if she's going to do more princessy things, well, we'll see how that goes.
That's a thing you do. It isn't necessarily... Well,
Yeah.
It's a task.
Yeah.
So, should probably consider... Oh, got to research it.
Yep.
Oh, no, what'd I do? Research.
We'll see how it goes.
All the books. There was... oh, yeah. I almost forgot. Hoity-toity, photo finish, Sapphire Shores all showed up.
Oh, yeah, they're
next
at
to each other
the show.
fashion show thing. All showed up next to each other, which I think that'll make a lot of people happy that all three of them showed up like that.
Shipping.
Of
Someone's
course.
going to do it. Someone is going to do it.
I know people have shipped photo finish and hoity-toity together, so...
All you have to do is put them next to each other on screen. Someone's going to ship them.
It's inevitable. They don't even have to show up next to each other like Final Scratch and Octavia have never been in the same episode together and yet
This is true.
shipped together like crazy just because they're both musical.
And opposites attract.
And I believe hoity-toity and photo finish never actually showed up together until this one.
I don't know.
I don't think they showed up in the same episode until this episode. They might have both showed up in Sweet and Elite, but I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't
If
know.
they were, it might not have been the same scene though. So
And you also get some of them are in Manhattan, and there was also the Canterlot scenes.
Yep.
You have to go back and watch a few episodes to check that.
yeah, so the Manhattan look, I want to say the look of Manhattan was really nice. I mean, we only briefly got to see it during the Cutie Mark Chronicles way back in season 1.
Yeah.
Other than that, we've never seen much of it, and we got to see it now. It's actually really cool. You got the Times Square type thing. You got the Statue of Liberty, and
Which was rather small, but okay.
But then of course there's a question. Well, then again, it's a pony, so
It would be shorter.
Yeah.
but-
Then there's the whole question of what do they call it? Because they're in a diarchy.
Yeah.
There was a diarchy.
So you can't really call it the Statue of Liberty.
Quadarchy?
Well, it might be.
Wait, no,
It's
triarchy now.
It's a diarchy because it's two head ruling bodies.
Well, we got
It's a
two others
diarchy.
now. Then again,
Unless,
one's
of
in the
course,
Crystal
unless they have a cabinet that they work with, and
Yeah.
then you might be able to call it something else. And
Empire.
yeah, we're just not going to get into that one.
yeah, it's just a lot of speculation that no one has answered yet. Because, well, surprise,
no
I don't think they really
material.
care about that much.
No.
Only we do.
Yeah.
And remember, we're not the intended target. You don't
Yeah.
want to. Guess what happens when you start mixing in politics with your entertainment? You get the Star Wars prequels.
Oh boy.
Do you want that?
Boy.
No, you don't. So stop. Don't. So let it.
Does the target audience really care about politics?
No.
Could they even understand politics?
Partially, possibly.
Maybe only very little. So we're only going to see very little.
Yeah, especially since it's not even relevant to most systems of government nowadays, anyway.
Yeah, and that would be a really weird episode where the government system would be important to the show.
Princess Twilight.
Well, even then.
I know, but so yeah, I think it'd probably be called like the Statue of Harmony or something, but
Possibly.
makes most sense. The rainbow thread. I
Yeah,
guess.
well, I was seeing if we could push that off towards the end because that's probably the biggest.
Yeah, it's the biggest
speculation
thing. But also,
one.
on top of that, she had threads that were all obviously the same colors as her friends and herself
Yeah,
6
she
thread
she
spools.
got this spool of rainbow thread
from Coco.
from Coco Pommel. It was in her little gift, and she put it up on her shelf next to a set of spools,
Mhm.
thread spools, 6, and each one matched the primary fur color of each of the main
Coat.
6. The coat, fur,
Coat
whatever,
color.
it doesn't matter.
Not for
Yeah,
the ponies.
It's the same, so it's kind of interesting. Why does she have a separate spool of thread sitting there that matches each of their coats? And then you have this one rainbow thread.
One rainbow thread which
And it
shimmered.
shimmers. And it's interesting that the shimmer color matches the main 6 coat colors.
Yeah.
So, but there's
It's one of those
also...
things. And of course, Megan McCarthy teased on Twitter that it might be important.
Yeah. It's also interesting. We saw the same shimmer effect on the rope.
The rope. When
but I'm not
she
sure-
looked down the audience and realized her friends weren't there, she looked, and
The rope in front of where they should have been shimmered. the
then her
same
eyes
shimmer.
shimmered, and
And then that's one. Her eyes shimmered when she saw
it's like
it.
I think some people are thinking this is like the first key.
Yeah, they're starting to notice the thing because if you go back and look at the box when it was first revealed, there is a bit of a rainbow shining effect on it too, though that might be just a generic effect. But this could be our first sighting of something important to the box.
Yep. Man, like I said,
it's definitely, I mean,
too.
The way they played it out with the shining effect and focusing on it that much.
Megan McCarthy's tweet.
It's got to be important.
Yeah,
it would be remiss to be just a random one-off thing and not be important.
This is not like before where we could just dismiss it as probably just a joke. I mean, of course, now people are probably saying things like Fluttershy's teeth when she was Flutterbat are somehow important too.
Yeah,
like, what are they going to do?
Sure about that one.
Applejack kick her in the mouth?
I'll just stick the box up to her face.
Oh, it worked.
Just throw the box. Just throw it at her.
Then somehow the pony of shadows is also supposed to be important.
Yeah, I don't know how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, I think this is actually our first Keith box thing, whatever.
Yeah.
The other things were just either jokes or just one-off things, just a bit of a stinger at the end. But this is the first one that is definitely, I think, actually important.
Yes.
It was too blatant. This is like too blatant.
Way too blatant.
It wasn't even totally related to the rest of the episode, really, except for the fact that it's thread.
Yeah.
Especially since, also the colors of the other spools next to it and all that stuff, just kind of, you have to think this is related to the box.
Yeah, all that stuff, that couldn't have been
which, of course, is kind of worrying because the whole rainbow power thing, and people think that's connected to the box, too, and it's a rainbow.
All these rainbow things
power.
tying together all of a sudden it's a little bit, I'll say interesting. I'm not going to say worrying, because we don't know enough about rainbow power to say that it's going to be a bad thing.
No. I just know that
I'm just going to say it's
initial
interesting.
reaction to designs was pretty negative.
Yeah. But like I said, that picture that we saw today, that photo of the toy, was a lot better. So, I mean, looking at now, we have really good stuff, but if you look at any of the toy lines, at least the original ones, they all use those stock vectors and they don't look very good. But the real stuff's a lot better. So, we'll see. This definitely looks like it's going to be important, and there's possibility that this rainbow power could be connected.
What's in the box? Rainbow power.
Yay.
Rainbow OP, please.
And how much you want to bet the rainbow power has something to do with what the elements were?
Yeah, might have something to do with the elements, because remember, that shot rainbow.
It shot, everything is rainbows. Everything's unicorns and rainbows in this show. But yeah, you notice when she first realized, she saw the shimmer on the rope, and she realized, it's probably her realization that she was a complete jerk and she forgot her generosity.
Yes.
And that's when her eyes shined, the same shimmer.
Reminder.
So I'm thinking some connection between her generosity and the shimmer was that. So we could see something else later that's going to tie in. Maybe each one's going to get another challenge against their element.
And when they reinforce it.
And then when they realize in reinforcement, they're going to reveal the key.
Yeah. So, yeah, because it's it's kind of funny how they brought up her generosity so much after the elements have already been given up.
Yes.
So,
because
it's going to still come into play.
I mean, let's just jump back to the first episode. Season one episode completely. They were the spirits of the elements of harmony are right here. That was before the elements had even been revealed. Yeah. They were the spirits of the elements. That's why it wasn't, they didn't gain those, they were them, and the elements revealed themselves to those who were already matched up. So it's not like they have to have the physical elements to represent them. They already did, and that's why they were given the elements in the first place. So now they're realizing their elements without the actual physical MacGuffins.
Yeah.
Will reveal the key. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But I just thought the Rainbow Falls episode, it's about Dash's loyalty to the Ponyville team or the
Rainbow Falls.
Yeah, it's...
And she's going to have to she's going to have to have a challenge against her loyalty. Yeah, because she's part of the
Ponyville relay team, but then she's thinking about quitting that and going to
invited
it's going to be about loyalty.
It's going to be.
I think that's going to be, that's what, the episode after next week, I think?
Possibly. Yeah. I think that one's coming up soon. We've got Pinky Apple Pie
next week is Pinky Apple Pie, then it's Rainbow Falls, then it's the Three's a Crowd.
Yes.
I think that'll be the second key.
Unless something happens in Pinky Apple Pie that we haven't predicted yet.
Yeah, unless that's the...
So it's either going to be the second or third, maybe, if it is any.
Yeah. I mean, some people could argue the Flutterbat thing was maybe Fluttershy's, but
I don't know, because Fluttershy didn't really...
She just kind of turned into a...
kind of... Yeah.
She's
more a victim on that one.
That's a bit of a difficult, but...
she didn't really discover anything herself.
Yeah, that's got to be... Based on that, that's her test of loyalty right there.
Yeah.
So,
which we can kind of point back to season 2, episode one, where Discord challenged each of their elements.
Yeah, this is this is like another test for them, except they're not getting Discordified. They're Discordified, whatever.
Yeah, This is definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to Rainbow
now
Falls.
That's like. I don't know why
so.
it just clicked in my head that's the thing that's going on, because it's never occurred to me about that until just now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. So I'm wondering how they're going to, test Applejack's honesty. And
yeah, because the first time they showed her honesty wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, but let's be honest, that whole trust me, let go. Then again, it's like, are you crazy? Let it go.
Watch
right now.
Watch. There's something happens to. It's gonna have to involve family and or orchard.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna face some sort of hard thing where she's gonna want to lie in order for protection. Is probably what it's gonna be, maybe a short-term protection.
Yeah.
So
or just make things better, like fudge the numbers a bit on the apples.
Or she learns something someone wants to know, but she doesn't want to tell them because it might be bad. But she needs to.
I wonder if the Pinky's Pride with Weird Al is going to be Pinky's Laughter one.
Possibly. I could see that, because it's supposed to be the cheese sandwich, which is supposed to be going to be Weird Al.
Yeah, he's going to be coming here and
it's supposed to be throwing a party for Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, and Pinky's going to feel like left out.
Yeah, or being upshown or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Upstaged.
It's gonna.
So that might be Pinky's.
Of course.
It'd be interesting
if
we get a whole bunch of
Fluttershy's
these.
wasn't the Flutterbat thing, then it'd be interesting to see her kindest thing. What would that be? Would Discord just take it one step too far? That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
And
I'd love to see Discord going too far again, because that could get crazy.
Yes, that's all those. So yeah. Then of course, what the heck would Twilight's magic be?
I don't know.
That would be what would challenge that? It's just like you can't use it right now for some reason, or you have to use some weird creative way of she'd have to really push her knowledge of magic to the limit to figure something out, or what?
She already did that though.
I know. I mean, like really push something, like or do something really.
Well, that ties back into something
there's some rule
I've
that she can't do something, and then she has to kind of get around it.
Yeah, that kind of ties back to something I've said before. Out of all the 6 elements of harmony, Twilight's is the only one that is not a personality trait. Magic is
concept.
not.
Well, not for us.
Yeah, magic is not a personality trait, but all the other ones are. So she's separate. She's different than the rest in that case.
Yeah, with Discord, they just kind of made the whole friendship is magic thing. Basically, to break her, they had to basically break her bond with all her friends.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's going to come up again. Something is going to. I wonder if they're going to do the princess thing with that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If she said there's going to be more princessy things, that could be the test right there.
Yeah, so it's like if they're going to do the whole friendship is magic thing, that would be the thing they do. Would have to be just
watch that be near the end, or be the
final.
Watch
key.
hers be the final key, and where they open the box.
It's gonna be like the episode or
watch
two
it
right
be
before the finale.
Watch it be the right before or be the finale.
Yeah, first half, because I think it would not surprise me if the finale is a 2-parter.
Go for it. I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah, so I really hope it. What was? Oh, I guess so. Yeah, that's so. This episode actually is more of a bearing than I was not expecting. This episode to have a bearing on the overarching plot, but it has a serious. And now I'm all excited about the rest of it now.
Yeah,
because I want to see this stuff. But going back to the episode itself, one thing I wanted to Rarity or Applejack's honesty really got brutal at one point.
Oh, right, yes.
Like, that was pretty rotten of you, Rarity. It's like
that was really rotten of you.
And Dash is like, even Dash is like, if Dash is kind of lecturing you about, tact,
yeah,
you've gone too far.
Though I do want to say, maybe it's because I'm not a huge fan of Rarity, it needed to be said.
It needed to be said, yeah.
It needed to be said. I'm just funny, though. Applejack on that one.
Applejack
that was bad.
Applejack didn't even look apologetic. She was
why? Why should she? She told the truth. Yep, you were being a jerk, Rarity.
Speaking of Dash, though, it's also funny. After the play, she's all woo.
Wow, this is awesome. Oh nope, gotta remember my image.
I mean,
which is interesting. Why she had to revert to that when she already admitted in the very beginning of the episode?
Because she got overly excited for something that she's not supposed to be that into.
But she already admitted that she was excited for it.
Yeah, she
already cheered for it. She's also
about how music. I don't know. It's just Dash.
I don't know. That's weird. It is Dash. I will say that. That does. Yeah, that's Dash.
It's Dash. A little inconsistent, something, but whatever.
Well, she keeps.
And still, of course, the Equestria Games thing. Also, I guess I just thought of this again. The Equestria Games says Dash's episode is going to be about the Equestria Games stuff, and so I guess the Equestria Games is going to tie into the box a little bit, but I don't think it's still going. I still think it's not going to be the major thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, how much did the thread tie into this episode?
Barely. Well, it was there, but
so if this episode, the thread part of this episode ties into the box, the parts that tie into the box have really nothing to do with the episode it's about.
Yeah, I was starting to, because
the items at least.
I just remember we went for so long without hearing anything about the box after the third episode. I was starting to think we weren't going to hear anything again until like after the Equestria Games were said and done. Because I was thinking Equestria Games was going to be like a mid-season thing, and then
technically we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
We may not have heard anything about the box yet. We might be completely wrong about it.
But I'm pretty sure it's about the box.
Yes.
Everyone's pretty sure it's about the box.
But I could say, we'll probably see a test of loyalty in Rainbow Falls on Rainbows, and she's probably going to get something. I can't predict what. We've only seen one thing. Maybe it could be. And it's probably, if it's going to, I will make this prediction. If it's going to be related to the box, it's going to be rainbow colored. I mean, we've already seen one. We're already starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah.
So if it is rainbow colored, that's really going to set in the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Though we also have to deal with it's Rainbow Dash. If she gets something rainbow colored, that's going to be a lot of rainbows in one place.
It's so un-rainbow.
So yeah. But yeah, we might see, like in this episode, it'll probably show up at the very end.
Yeah.
Something unexpected or small that ties back, but doesn't really have any bearing on the rest of the episode.
Well, sort of does, but...
Sort of, but not directly.
Yeah. It's going to be related, but it's not going to be a central focus.
Yeah, like the thread.
The thread.
What really did that spool of thread have anything to do with the rest of the episode? It was a gift.
It was a gift from someone who
she helped. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, directly there is no huge direct relation. So we're probably going to see something similar to that. Yeah. If that's the way it's going to go, we're probably going to see something similar to that in Rainbow Falls.
Kindness and honesty and laughter and
yes. Magic.
That's going to be the one I want. Of course, that's the one I'm most interested in.
Of course, I'm lucky. I'm going to see the rainbow one here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's.
You might have to wait till the end of the season.
Yeah, I might, but I'll make it all worth it.
Waiting makes the heart grow fonder. Is that what they say?
Oh boy. So yeah, I really actually did enjoy this episode. I guess I kind of was down on it, I think, initially, but that's probably just because when I watched it and stuff, but I watched it again and I actually like it a lot more, especially now that all the stuff is connected in my head and
I'll still say it was okay. It was definitely not a bad episode, not by any means. But not a huge fan of Rarity myself. I'm not a huge fan of the things Rarity likes. Fashion and those things are really it grates on me, especially Suri's voice. That really started grating on me.
Suri's voice is not exactly nice to listen to. At least it wasn't Babseed levels.
I would actually think, personally, I would rather listen to Babseed.
Oh, damn.
I would rather listen to Babseed. Especially that, thing that she did, that Suri did. It's just like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Yeah, probably this series' little voice that she did was probably not the greatest.
Though, she was the antagonist.
I do know some people who actually did like the voice a lot, and
yeah,
it's one of those love it or hate it type things.
I hate it. I did not like that at all.
I'm pretty sure Babs was just pretty much almost everyone hated that one, or at least disliked that voice.
I didn't dislike it. I didn't like it.
Particularly people from the Northeast, just because it's like, oh my god, you're mixing all the accents together.
Yeah.
Of course, people do that with Southern accents, don't notice because, well, no one cares about the South. Or something, I don't know. But I also like this episode just because it wasn't. I'm not really into what Rarity likes, of course, but just sometimes the way Rarity acts is just so funny. I can't help but like her. Just sometimes it's just her overly dramatic insanity and just the faces she makes, the way Tabitha St. Germain lets her own little weirdness kind of slip into the character. It's just sometimes she just becomes really fun because of that. Just, I mean, the weird noise she made, the faces she makes, the name drop of the title of the show. Just, I guess friendship is magic and stuff. And what was the thing she said? She put the word pony in the middle of it. I don't remember what word she said. Yeah. But yeah, she just says.
It's like they're almost their equivalent of swearing.
Yeah. But it's her whole rant when she guilt trip her friends into continuing helping her. When they're like, look, we came here for fun and we wanted to see the show. And by the way, you never expected to probably see the Rainbow Dash at a spinning wheel.
Yes.
I was also surprised. Fluttershy was the one who messed up the sewing because of her, freaky knowledge of sewing. But then again, just because of her freaky knowledge of it doesn't mean you can actually do it. And of course, and during that scene as well, I almost forgot to have Applejack folding because the last time Applejack tried to sew something.
We don't want her near a sewing machine. We know
Please
how that
no.
goes. Yeah.
So I just like it just because sometimes it's just fun watching Rarity act like Rarity.
Yeah, sometimes that's one of the things I'm not a huge fan on. I don't like seeing the over dramatized stuff. That personality style grates on me. I'm not gonna say it's done badly or whatnot. It's just I just don't like it myself. But that's it. Quickly gets old for me. Probably because I deal with too much of it.
Yeah, I just really. Oh yeah, I just almost forgot. We were talking about the private showing. It's like Rarity convinces the costume designer to let her have a private showing. That's what I remember. Private showing. It's so funny. She's friends with a princess, and it's like all she had to do was just say, "I'm friends with a princess."
Yes.
Sparkle. And that probably was almost guaranteed.
She did that in one of the other ones she had. It was which episode was that? Where she went up to Canterlot.
Sweet and Elite.
Sweet and Elite, yeah. No one really recognized her until she accidentally name dropped Celestia, and everyone went, "Holy crap, you know Celestia?" Yeah.
So it would not Rarity. I don't think would be totally beneath or above name dropping Twilight.
No,
especially to get a private
personally
showing
think
to make up for it or earlier indiscretion.
Yeah, I could see her doing that.
I mean, Twilight wouldn't do it, but Rarity would only do it in cases of dire need.
Yeah, I don't think she'd actively. Rarity isn't.
Rarity isn't as conniving as some people like to.
As conniving as some others, but she'll use it when it's there and she thinks about it. But it's not something she's constantly thinking about ways she can, use other people to get what she wants. She doesn't constantly do that, but she's definitely not, as we've seen here, not above using those methods.
Someone said she'd make an excellent spy.
Yeah, possibly.
So sometimes the best spies are the ones in plain sight, wailing dramatically.
Crazy like a fox?
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, there's no way it could possibly. Yeah, by the way.
So, really, really good episode, I think. My personal opinion, the more I think about it, the more I like it, so.
Yeah, it's not gonna rank as high.
Ignoring the dramas attached to it, that was stupidly generated for no reason.
Yes. Personally, I think that one Pawnee can just disappear.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
Because it never should have been a big deal.
It never should have been, but
and it's not being a big deal.
I wish it wasn't, but it is for some reason, or people are trying to make it a big deal.
I'm hoping it just burns out rapidly.
You are all acting like Rarity.
Bad Rarity.
Except bad Rarity, which happens sometimes. Like, yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, sometimes she kind of thinks a little too far. I guess Sweet and Elite is the one, even though I enjoyed that episode as well, because
Congratulations.
That's what it was.
Congratulations. Isn't friendship magic?
That's what it was. I could not remember. Just know she entered in the word pony and just something. It's just so funny. It's almost like Smurf from the old Smurf TV series.
Yeah. That whole scene, that grated on me a bit, but that's more because I have to deal with that personally.
I thought that scene was hilarious. So. Hey, look, differing opinions. How about that? Yeah, so honestly, I think this is one of my higher ups for this season for me personally.
It'll probably sit around the middle. I think the
premiere was still the best so far.
I'll agree with that one. It was just freaking epic.
Bring on the Twilight episodes. Three's a Crowd. That's the one I'm looking forward to. Although the Pinky's Pride one, that I'm also.
Yes.
Just because Weird Al.
Yes, that one's definitely one I'm looking forward to.
But I'm also just looking for. Actually, I'm looking forward to the next few episodes, mostly because the next one particularly just because it's like, hey, we're building up some backstory, more backstory.
Pinky
Are they related or not?
How are they gonna handle that? Is Pinky related to the Apple family? We're gonna find out
next time. I believe that's it.
That's all I would say.
Yeah, we don't have as much to talk about, I guess, this time. Then again, we didn't try to do a retrospective this episode either, so.
Yes.
But I'm looking forward to 2014 now.
Oh yeah. If things keep going, I think we've said this every episode so far, but
yes.
it's
I've yet to be truly disappointed.
Yes.
So, if you enjoyed this episode of this podcast and want to hear others, you can check us out on iTunes. You can subscribe there. Just search for Pony411. You can also, of course, download directly if you don't want to deal with iTunes from pony411.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN. If you don't want to download it at all, you can go to youtube.com/pony411. All our episodes are up there on YouTube as YouTube videos. You can also contact us via email, pony411podcast@gmail.com, or facebook.com/pony411, or on Twitter, we're at pony411, or you can contact our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at _Alcatraz_ and he uses 7 in his name.
We're just going to say, look at the link.
Yes. It's in the show notes. It's going to be in the show notes, like always. Once again, this is Pony411 Podcast. We'll see you next time when we talk about the Apple family and the Pi family, and if they're at all together in the same group or not. So until then, remember guys, please pony responsibly.
Always.
Bye.